Welcome back to SN Studios. Today we have a gripping story straight from the streets of Sheffield. Hold on to your seats as we dive into the life of one of the city's most notorious mobsters, Lester Divers. Lester Divers was born and raised in the Pittsmoor area of Sheffield. Pittsmoor also had a darker side, one that Lester would come to dominate. In his early years, Lester showed an uncanny knack for business. By day, he made a name for himself as a successful music promoter, bringing some of the hottest acts to Sheffield and filling venues with eager fans. But as night fell, Lester Divers revealed his true persona, a gangland mobster whose influence stretched across the city. Respected, feared, and never one to be messed with, Lester's dual life kept him one step ahead of his rivals. Lester Divers was a master of duality. On the surface, he was charming and affable, the life of the party. But beneath that veneer lay a man who controlled Sheffield's underworld with an iron fist. He was a key figure in the city's organised crime scene. Lester Divers was not just a formidable figure. He was the undisputed leader of a gang responsible for a series of sickening crimes against other drug dealers and criminals of the time. Lester and his associates operated with ruthless efficiency. They were alleged to have kidnapped and tortured numerous drug dealers, extracting thousands of pounds from them in brutal fashion. Adding another layer to the complex life of Lester Divers is his family connection. Lester was the older half-brother of Ashley David and Matthew Cohen, a trio known for their own criminal exploits in Sheffield. David and Ashley Cohen were jailed in April 2008 after they shot a taxi driver dead in a revenge attack against his son. Yunus Khan, a father of 5, was killed by a single shot through the window of his car as he drove down Scott Road in the Pittsmoor area of the city in the early hours of 14th of March 2007. 4 other bullets were found in the car and a 6th bullet missed. Yunus Khan struggled to continue driving after being shot but crashed into the gates of Burngreave Cemetery and was later pronounced dead in hospital. Both brothers had planned the killing. They had initially wanted to kill Yunus Khan's son, Imran, after finding out that he had taken a gun to David Cohen's house in revenge for trouble at a Sheffield nightclub. David Cohen was jailed for 31 years. Ashley Cohen was jailed for 33 years. On April 2018, Matthew Cohen and his 2 accomplices, Dale Gordon and Keel Bryan, were jailed for life for shooting dead a 23-year-old as he sat in his car outside his sister's engagement party. Asil Al-Essay was shot at point-blank range on Daniel Hill in February 2017, weeks after a drugs-related dispute. All 3 denied murder, but were convicted following a trial at Sheffield Crown Court, which took place amid tight security. Asil Al-Essay was shot after a Volkswagen Golf, driven by Matthew Cohen, drew alongside his car and a conversation turned into an argument. One of the 2 passengers, Dale Gordon and Keel Bryan, shot Asil Al-Essay in the shoulder with a Smith & Wesson revolver. The bullet punctured his lung, heart and abdomen and caused massive internal bleeding. Asil Al-Essay's brother, Ali, was sitting in another vehicle yards away and took him to hospital where he was pronounced dead on arrival. The Volkswagen was found about 4 miles away in Grenoside, where it was dumped and set alight by accomplice James Good on Matthew Cohen's instructions. He had earlier been seen on CCTV at a garage buying a petrol can and 4 litres of fuel, which was used to torch the vehicle. James Good, who pleaded guilty to perverting the course of justice, was jailed for 3 years and 3 months. Matthew Cohen, Dale Gordon, and Keel Bryan were all ordered to serve a minimum of 30 years for the murder of Asil Al-Essay in Sheffield. New Year's Day 2003 would become a date forever etched in the memory of Sheffield residents. The city awoke to the shocking news that Lester Divers, the man who had ruled its underworld, was executed in a manner that left everyone in disbelief. Lester was leaving his girlfriend's home on Freedom Road, Walkley, Sheffield. As he got into his blue Lexus car, he was unaware that his life was about to come to a violent end. Before he could drive away, a shot from a sawn-off shotgun was fired at point-blank range, hitting Lester with devastating force. The consequences were inevitable. As Lester slumped forward, the car's horn blared into the quiet morning, a grim announcement of the deadly attack. His killer swiftly fled the scene in a waiting getaway car, disappearing into the early hours of the day. The execution of Lester Divers sent shockwaves through Sheffield. The investigation into Lester Divers' murder led to a high-profile trial that captivated Sheffield and beyond. The courtroom was packed as the details of the well-planned and cold-blooded execution were laid bare, revealing the brutal realities of the city's underworld. During the trial of the suspects accused of involvement in his death, it was claimed that Lester was killed as a result of a vicious turf war between rival drug gangs. The prosecution painted a picture of calculated violence, asserting that Divers' murder was orchestrated to send a powerful message. Central to the case was Michael Uller, the gunman who admitted to shooting Lester Divers. Uller claimed that he opened fire out of fear for his own life, driven by the desperate circumstances of the criminal underworld. Michael Uller's defense argued that he acted in self-defense. His barrister told Sheffield Crown Court that Uller had been targeted by Divers and two other men who allegedly tried to kidnap, torture, and kill him to extract information about a rival drug dealer Michael Uller was associated with. In gripping testimony, Michael Uller recounted the harrowing events that led to the fatal encounter. He described how he was cornered and, in a moment of sheer panic, fired the shotgun to protect himself from what he believed was certain death. The jury faced the daunting task of sifting through conflicting accounts and determining the truth. Was Michael Uller a cold-blooded killer executing a rival, or was he a desperate man acting in self-defense? In July 2003, the verdict was delivered. Michael Uller was found guilty of the murder of Lester Divers and was handed a life sentence. The decision brought a measure of closure to the harrowing case, but the shockwaves of Divers' death continued to ripple through Sheffield's criminal landscape. The trial underscored the violent and unpredictable nature of the city's underworld, revealing the deadly consequences of turf wars and rivalries. For many, it was a stark reminder of the pervasive and often unseen battles waged in the shadows of their city. The story of Lester Divers is a chilling chapter in Sheffield's history, one that highlights the devastating impact of organised crime on individuals and communities. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the life and death of Lester Divers. Here at SN Studios, we strive to bring you the most compelling stories from across the globe. If you found this story intriguing, make sure to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more riveting content. This is SN Studios, signing off.